Hello and welcome to another edition of the Squad Goals podcast. I'm Josh Parrish, and alongside me, fresh from the Tasmanian wilderness, he's the biggest hip-hop star in Namibia. It's Ryan Cheng.
Squad. What's happening? Grrrr.
How did you find your adventure in Van Diemen's Land? Did you discover any Tasmanian devils or two-headed inhabitants? Or
No, look, it was good. Had a good time. It was very cold. It was snowing, so the devils were all hidden away, hibernating or some shit. They do that, don't they?
Yeah, I think they've just been missing, not extinct or anything. Anyway, let's moving right along.
I thought you were talking about. In my mind, I saw a wombat because all I saw over there was wombats. So it registered that you said Tasmanian devil, but I just thought of an animal that I've seen. Okay. Anyway, no, extinct.
We should make the point that we do record this in the dead of night, so we're not exactly operating at our highest brain capacity.
11:38.
We do this for you.
Today I ran a red light.
You ran a red light.
I ran a red light. I was sitting there, and the turning light went green, but my brain saw green. I was like, go. And then I was in the middle of the junction, and a car was turning and honked me. But he was very nice. He told me to keep going, but I was like, no, I'm going to be a dick and reverse back to where I started. So yeah.
Is that something you really want to admit on the record?
Oh, too late.
The microphones are on. You do realise we are recording, right?
Too late now. Moving on. Congratulations, Tom Black. You won a signed photo of Josh winking. Josh is still trying to find a way to be creative with this photo. I just asked for a selfie.
I mean, one of the main problems is I can't really wink. So,
which is also why I offered that up.
Yeah.
What a funny photo that would be.
Maybe that's the appeal.
But anyway, keep listening because we're doing another giveaway today.
Yeah. Okay, football. We're talking about football. Right. That's what we're here for.
That's right.
All right, unless you've been living under a rock, in Ryan's case, probably literally, for the past week, you would have heard that Juve have sealed their progression to the Champions League final, winning 4-1 on aggregate over young ruffians, young upstarts, Monaco.
No,
I know your heart broken, and
my heart breaking, mate.
Your heart was broken, and so is our local kebab man.
Yes, so we just, how long ago? We just got back from having a kebab.
Yeah,
about 10, 15 minutes ago. And we were eating our kebab and these guys rocked up demanding a kebab for free. And it turns out that the local kebab store has turned into a bit of a betting ring.
They're offering pretty good odds, actually. I got to say, yeah. So if Juve win the Champions League final against, presumably it's going to be Real Madrid, this particular gentleman is owed 10 free kebabs, and if it goes the other way, he has to pay up $100 cash. So
$100 cash.
There's a lot serious high stakes involved for everybody following the world game.
This show is not brought to you by Mad Kebabs. This is not a paid sponsorship. But if you are working for Mad Kebabs, you're listening to this,
get in touch.
We are open.
Get in touch.
Very open.
Gamble responsibly. So anyway, in this Monaco Juve tie, I found the tactical approach of both coaches absolutely fascinating in both legs. We haven't talked about the first leg, given that it was yet to transpire when we recorded the last pod. So I wanted to
2 legs are better than one, Josh.
Yeah, they are. No offense to all the amputee footballers out there.
Oh, that is. You had to take it though. All right.
You said
bring it back. Bring it back.
We need to rescue this. So Juve decided to abandon the 4-2-3-1 that has served them so well in this second half of the season. To go with 3 at the back to a sort of more of an Antonio Conte throwback. Operated much the same way as the Chelsea managers in vogue kind of 3-4-2-1, except Dybala was playing more of a number 10 role, and then Dani Alves just covered the whole right flank by himself.
Dani Alves single-handedly destroyed Monaco. He had an amazing game.
He had amazing 2 games.
2 games.
3 assists and an absolute worldie over the two legs, which was just incredible. I mean, he just he was able to cover the right flank the only real weakness in that Juve formation was I thought Barzali playing as that right-sided member of the back three, because when Alves got caught up the flank, and there was that one memorable passage of play when Mbappe just turned him inside out, and I felt that wasn't really
gets me going. Mbappe,
he gets everybody going, and when he managed to isolate Barzali 1v1, Monaco really excelled, but they weren't really able to do that and use the left-hand side of the pitch very effectively because of the absence of Benjamin Mendy, one of the most exciting attacking fullbacks going around in Europe, because he was injured for that game and they had to play Sidibe on that side, and he's always coming in field onto his right foot.
And you could tell the Monaco side was really out of balance.
They were really depleted.
I thought Bakayoko had a poor game.
Oh, the first leg he was horrible. I don't know if it was to do. I mean, he was wearing the mask for the broken nose. I don't know whether that was had anything to do with it, but he was at fault for both goals. He was
just getting dragged out of play everywhere.
He didn't track Higuain for the first one, although that was an amazing team move. And then for the second goal, he just got caught with the ball and turned it over, and then Alves crossed for Higuain second. And he wasn't in anywhere near the same kind of imperious form that he's been to manage to balance out that extremely attacking Monaco midfield. So that was a bit disappointing. He did redeem himself, I thought, in the second game. I thought he was back to his best, but didn't end up being enough.
I think they learned the lessons from the first leg.
Yeah, they did. They switched their approach because, I mean, it was kind of a very sort of 90s thing to do, to play back three to counter a 4-4-2, because then you've got the two man markers marking both of the forwards, and then you've got a free player across the back. Bonucci is the best at playing sort of old fashioned sweeper role that you've got going around these days. So Monaco actually switched to a back three themselves, as you see a lot of coaches do. It was more of a 3-1-4-2 or 3-4-1-2 at times. And this time they had Mendy back, so they were able to. He only played actually because Dira was injured in the warm up, but I thought it was actually a positive thing for Monaco to even though they had to risk his injury, because they were able to stretch the field so much more. And they started really brightly, but again, Juve just so efficient, so effective. Just
classic Juve. They've dominated Serie A since their return to the top flight. They've proven to be solid defensively, and the additions of Dani Alves, Dybala, the likes coming through have taken them up a notch, another dimension in terms of the way they can attack. But I think the big question that is posed is, why did Barca let Dani Alves go? I mean,
it's astonishing, isn't it? Luis Enrique clearly didn't want to let him go. It was more of a dispute with the Barcelona board, who have a lot of control over player acquisition and retention, and they didn't really value him the same way. They said, well, we've got, we need to have an academy player in the team, and Sergio Roberto's coming up.
It's unreal, because he clearly has the legs on him still. Clearly, mentally still very much attuned with the game, and we saw that. We saw him tear Monaco apart. He assisted and scored. It just baffles me that Barcelona let him go.
I mean, he's 34 now, but he's not showing any signs.
He does not show signs of age.
I mean, they're able to rotate a little bit more because they've got like Steiner and some other players who can play in that position. So he doesn't have to play every single game, whereas Barcelona's tiny squad means that it really stretches their first team.
I think it's Barca's loss, to be honest. If you're not willing to invest in, or even trusting the fact that when Dani Alves needs a rest, that your academy players can step in and fill the role. You went the opposite direction, which is get rid of him completely and then throw an academy player in there.
Or I don't know if I think they did offer him a contract, but they didn't really try that hard.
They didn't try that hard.
They obviously didn't value him as he should have been valued.
Well, I just thought...
And it's one of the major differences between Barcelona this season and in previous incarnations. But back to this tie in particular, the play of Mandzukic really interests me as well. I mean, he's a thoroughly irritating player to watch, and I'm sure even worse to come up against, because he's the best at winning those pressure relieving free kicks by going down a little bit easy for a man of his frame, and he's capable of a rash challenge as well. He's a real, and he appeals for every single corner and throw in that's clearly not his. It's very irritating. But he's so versatile in the way they use him as a left winger in both of these their main formations. He was able to track Duras' runs all the way back in the first game, and then get into the box once Alexandra got the ball and be an option off those crosses. And in the second game, they put Raji on him, and he just followed him everywhere, which I thought was probably not the shrewdest move, because that left a lot of gaps in the back line, and he actually lost Mandzukic for the goal.
Yeah.
But didn't Subasic have a game in the second leg?
He played well.
I didn't really rate him when I saw him against Manchester City. I thought he was really, really shaky.
Yeah, I've never really rated him since I saw his rating on FIFA. You know, I started a manager mode of FIFA one time. On FIFA with Monaco.
Yeah.
And sold him straight away. I was like, mate.
Well, he's one of the players who went down to League Two with them. And,
no, loyalty don't matter.
No, it doesn't. Play the assets, just sell.
Yeah, look, if I could get someone better, then hell yeah, I'm doing it. But yeah, no, he played very well. I think he
was the main reason.
Showed his quality.
Yeah, he was the main reason they didn't go down by 4 or 5. I mean, they eventually broke Juve's unbelievable defensive run of clean sheets at home with that well-worked goal.
Killian.
Mbappe got him eventually.
Scored goals.
He's the player on everybody's lips at the moment. I was looking at some really nerdy stats articles, and apparently he's outperforming his expected goals by almost double. If you don't know, expected goals is kind of quantifying, how good chances are and trying to add up like a more reliable measure of what teams sort of should score on a broader statistical basis.
I didn't know that, but that was handy to know.
His expected goals based on what he's done in the games is around 7, and he scored like 15. So I think that's probably statistically unlikely that that's going to continue, but
don't doubt.
No, but he's good for 0.5 expected goals a game, which is like a 1 in 2 strike ratio, even if he
0.5 of a goal is when the ball is halfway over the line.
Yeah.
And half on the line. They have to go to that Hawkeye thing.
Well, even if he sort of regresses to the mean, like he's going to be a really handy player, and to have that at 18 when you can also do so many other things in terms of taking on players and creating space for others is unbelievable. So if Monaco do sell him in the summer, I wouldn't be surprised if transfer records were broken. Even
crazy money, big money.
It's going around.
Money talks.
Certainly does. It talks to Mino Raiola in particular, who came out this week, earned £41 million from the Paul Pogba transfer.
So they're investigating that.
Yeah, we will have a...
Paul will not be dabbing at that.
Yeah, it's not something to dab at. £41 million.
That is a lot of money.
How do you convince a player that you are worth 41 million? Your council is worth that much money to you. How do you convince them that you should be earning...
Give me 41 million and I'll show you.
Ryan's pursuing a new career as a shady agent.
All I have to do is like go to like one of those youth tournaments, an unsigned player, and be like, I'll be your agent. I got you, fam. And then if he becomes a star, you've done it. And you just put your bets where they, something to think about.
This is getting dangerously close to violating child labour laws, so I think we should move on. But I'm sure we'll have more details on the Pogba inquiry next week when more information is made clear as to why there are.
Also, if you know anyone that's really talented, that needs representation. I'm the man. I also need money, so yeah.
Shilling for shady betting companies. Signing up.
I'll take a Babs' payment. What about the other tie in the Champions League?
Yeah, Real Madrid Atleti.
I mean, right now they're playing in a few hours' time.
Yeah,
so we can't really talk about that.
I mean, it's done. It's done, surely. I mean, if the Champions League this season has taught us anything, is that big Spanish teams never come back from from huge first leg deficits at home in the second leg when
Ronaldo the goat.
So I think it's safe to say that Real Madrid are in the final.
That was a good game, that one. Ronaldo, Real Madrid.
Yeah, they're interchangeable.
Real Madrid, I thought played really well. Moved the ball really well. They controlled the game. Atletico looked timid for most of the game. Griezmann was nowhere to be seen most of the time. But I think a big thing was their defense had to be shaken up a bit in that first leg at Atleti because they lost their right back. Who's their right back? Juan Fran or something? Yeah, and they lost Jimenez as well.
They're on their fourth choice right back,
Yeah,
because they lost the Croatian dude.
Yeah.
FM Wonder Kid, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't say his name. Vasalko.
Vralico. You guys know the one. Just
to all of our Balkan listeners, don't hate. Sorry, we can't. So they were on their fourth choice right back.
Yeah, and it showed. It really showed because Lucas Hernandez was playing at right back, who is talk of huge transfers even to Real Madrid. Really struggled to cope. Ronaldo ran him ragged, and it showed.
Yeah, and Marcelo in particular as well.
And Marcelo tore down that left hand side, and I think having such kind of a hastily put together back four really was
Atleti's undoing. I mean,
it really was, because I think if they had their back four together, it would have been a different game.
Because they've developed such an understanding over,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's so crucial.
Oblak had a good game. It could have been much worse.
That save he made from was it Varane's header, the low to the left hand side, was unbelievable.
He kept them in the game in the way Subasic kept Monaco in the tie in that second leg. It was just good goalkeeping performances, made the scoreline a lot better to look at. But I thought Ronaldo, again showing his class, he's the GOAT, better than Messi.
Oblak didn't do great for that third goal though.
He did
jumped out of the way. I mean, I think you know why it was because it was from the penalty spot, and suddenly when there's a shot from the penalty spot, Oblak is just completely useless. It just turns from a world class keeper into an absolute spy.
We all have our weaknesses, Josh. Don't see you saving Ronaldo's goals.
Hey, at least, well, actually, I probably would jump out of the way. Let's be honest. He hits the ball with some venom, especially for that second strike. My goodness.
But I have a bone to pick. Yeah. This might be a bit controversial.
You're going to start rapping like Kendrick now? Or?
Sit down and be humble for a second.
He's mad, but I ain't stressing.
Karim Benzema. I know if Yaz is listening, he's going to be fuming. For all of you who don't know Yaz, he's one of our friends. He loves Real Madrid. Like, Real Madrid is the word. And you can't talk shit about them. Even when they play badly, they play well. But I think...
He's a devotee.
Oh, he is just... Yeah. Loves them. I think Karim Benzema is hampering their ability to become the best side in Europe, even though they're in the semi-finals and they're gonna play in the final. Keeping in mind that Atletico still have a mathematical chance of turning the tide around. Whatever, we saw that with Barca PSG. But I think when he plays, he makes that front three, which has the potential to be dynamic with Ronaldo and Bale and Morata, and we saw Lucas Vazquez and Marco Asensio dominate. I think he's too static. I mean, the stats are something like 9 goals in La Liga this season, which for a striker of his ability is a very low return.
Especially since Madrid seem to rack up huge score lines.
And they do. But I think, he hasn't scored since the 2nd of March, where against Alaves, and then he scored the week before. So before those 2 games, he only had 7 games in the league to that point.
7 goals.
7 goals. It's very late. 7 goals in the league to that point. And when I watched him play, he was wasteful against Atletico. He had a couple of good chances. And if you're a player of that quality, there's an expectation that you put it away. You talk about expected goals. I like to see what his expected goals are, for this season and the way he's been playing. But I think that he takes away from that, because when Asensio and Vasquez and all that come on, they look almost untouchable in the way they string forward and they move the ball. And you think when Bale gets back to fitness, you have Morata on the bench. Like, has Benzema gotten to the point where now he doesn't fit into the system that Zidane's trying to build?
I don't know. I think, I mean, there must be a reason why coach after coach keeps picking him. I don't think he's quite reached his potential that he showed at Lyon. I was all about Benzema when he was at Lyon with Ben Arfa, and he's incredible. I really wanted United to sign him.
I remember those days, year 10 in the library, we'd be looking after. The days when Benzema was at Lyon and Nasri was at Marseille and we were just raving.
Yeah, he had an extraordinary kind of Brazilian Ronaldo-like ability. Much in the same way that Mbappe does now. Probably didn't have quite that lightning pace, but just incredible awareness and touch in the box. And I don't think he's playing his best football at the moment. I think it's hard when you're playing alongside Ronaldo too, because he doesn't really make players around him better. I don't think he's kind of like he vacuums up all of the opportunities. So I think it is more difficult when you're playing alongside a player like Ronaldo, who's not really going to set you up for much.
Yeah.
And he's looking to score himself. I mean, I'm not really criticizing Ronaldo for that. Like it's the way he plays, and he's had a lot of success being a pretty single-minded goal scorer in recent seasons. But I do think Madrid have been stronger when they've been missing one of the BBC, Bale, Benzema, Cristiano.
So not the broadcasting network?
No. Because that allows Isco to enter the lineup.
Isco as well.
Yeah, I mean, Madrid actually didn't really play a 4-3-3 against Atleti. It was more of a diamond, almost like 4-3-1-2, with Isco just roaming wherever he pleased and creating overloads in all areas of the field. And I thought he was a huge reason why Real Madrid were able to completely outplay them and play the kind of football that we saw. And when the front three, the BBC, are in the team, that number 10 position doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
Because you have to play Casemiro, and you're not going to drop Kroos or Modric. And they've tried to play just Kroos and Modric as holders with James or Isco in the hole, and that just creates a very unbalanced kind of disjointed team. They need Casemiro in there to provide.
Casemiro has really taken that role, that anchorman role, as his own, and when he plays, they're incredibly balanced. You know, he was involved in a couple of those goals, I think, just like in the build-up play.
Yeah.
You know, just either winning the ball back or like sending the ball forward.
Yeah. The cross was so lucky, but he just volleyed it into the ground and it just pops up from
but even then he's in those spaces, but knows how to control the the tempo of the way they want to play. And I think, like you said, that number 10 is also crucial because that links, that plays as the link between the key men in Ronaldo and Bale to the rest of the team. So I don't know. Look, fun fact, my old iPhone 5S signed by Karim Benzema. If anyone's interested. No, but it is. And
it's dropping in value by the day.
And that's why I want to get rid of it. Like, it's worth something still. The day he becomes truly shit is when it's worth absolutely zero.
The day he becomes truly shit is the day we're going to give it away on the podcast.
Not today though. I've got something really fun planned, so keep listening.
This is a complete mystery to me, by the way. I'm getting more and more nervous.
No, but I just think that this is an interesting spot for him. It's whether he can adapt his role, change the way he plays a bit, or maybe go back to the Lyon style play where he was, taking the ball and then driving at defenses at Lyon. Or he adapts and becomes more of a deep lying sort of forward, receives it, dishes it. I think right now he's in between those two, and he's getting a bit lost in that. And I think he just needs to make that decision.
I mean, he's had a longer career than most at Real Madrid, and
oh, for sure.
I
People
think,
don't last there.
Yeah, he does drag defenders out of position and create space for other people and do some of the kind of forward play that people don't really notice. But he does look a little out of place at times. In that kind of star.
So we'll see in a few hours' time whether he can put in a good shift, put in a good performance. But I just think, like you said, that number 10 is the key spot. And when one of the BBC aren't there, that number 10 beat Isco or Vasquez or Asensio or whatever, they really make it down. And that's when Real Madrid play their best football. It's because when they're allowed to just stream forward cohesively rather than like Bale trying to sprint on his own or Ronaldo trying to yelling for the ball frustrated. I think they are more cohesive with a number 10 in there.
And Bale's had a funny old season actually. I mean his injury problems are well documented, and I doubt he's going to be back for the Champions League final. So it probably will be the lineup that we saw against Atleti. Barring any injuries, but the play of their fullbacks is just unbelievable. Marcelo, of course, playing a similar role to Dani Alves.
He's incredible.
I mean, he's an interesting player because he doesn't just overlap in the traditional kind of style of an attacking fullback. He'll often make kind of diagonal runs to the top corner of the box and play as like an attacking midfielder at times, and he's so crucial as that extra man to break down the defence. And saw it in a recent game they had against Valencia. It was a really tough game. And they just conceded an equaliser in the 82nd minute with a superb free kick. And they really needed the 3 points to keep themselves within touching distance of Barca. And Marcelo came up with the goods, kind of top of the box, cutting into his right foot and scoring. Yeah. And so he offers so much creativity and verve in attacking third, and doesn't seem to expose them too much defensively. I think attacking fullbacks are always subject to more criticism because you see the one instance where they get caught out of position,
and then everyone's all over it that one moment.
But the really limited defensive fullbacks, we just sort of accept their role because they don't expose the team defensively. We don't really think about how much the team loses by them not contributing to the attack.
And I think that's where Casemiro comes in, because I think he acts as a good foil for that. His positional awareness is really good, and you go back and watch the footage, just where he puts himself when they're in a defensive transition or an attacking transition. You can see that he's been put in that position to act as the foil. So when Marcelo goes up, Casemiro is sitting deeper, being aware that if they get caught out, he has to drop in, and then either Ramos has to go across or Varane has to go across to cover for that.
Yeah,
and that's my tactics talk for tonight.
And he'll always take a yellow card for the team if he needs to.
That's right.
Stop a counter attack. Which sometimes you need. I mean, after the Clasico when they conceded that late goal, that incredible kind of cross-field diagonal run from Sergio Roberto setting up. Marcelo was actually criticised heavily post-match for not just fouling him and taking the yellow card, as if he could have seen what was about to unfold. But Casemiro definitely has that kind of instinct that when he needs to put in a big challenge or when he needs to foul somebody, he's going to do it. And the thing about Real Madrid is, even if they don't play the flowing football that we saw against Atleti, they'll just score off a set piece. Cruz has got the best deliveries going around from corners, and Sergio Ramos is just a machine at putting away these late dramatic goals, him and Ronaldo attacking.
And that's the thing, I think, when you think of Real Madrid, yes, some games they don't look at all cohesive and other games they do, but the thing that you can always count on is that they can score from anything. They can drive it forward, they can go route one, they can go corners, free kicks, or whatever, and that's the thing. And when you're playing against them, to adequately prepare against this Real Madrid side is incredibly difficult, because when you're trying to think, well, what is the least effective attacking threat they have, you can't think of one.
Yeah, there's no one you can really just leave. I mean, even Casemiro, I think he scored an absolute screamer against Napoli a little while back.
Yeah. That was an amazing goal.
So they don't have any player that you can just discount as an attacking threat. So should we push each other for a prediction for the final, assuming it's going to be Madrid Juventus?
Look, I think Yaz will disown me. So I'm back in Madrid. I reckon it'll be tight. When you look at one of the best attacks in Europe against one of the best defenses in Europe, I reckon 2-1 Madrid. Ronaldo at the brace.
Depends if the linesman is on his game or not.
Oh God.
If Ronaldo's just allowed to stray off.
You're not happy about the natural human error that is going to occur in sport.
Then you do what the A-League does and bring in the VAR, which didn't work at all. But that's maybe a story for another day.
Go on, what's your prediction? I reckon 2-1. I reckon 2-1.
I think Juventus will take it.
Of course.
I've been a massive
ever since I've known Josh, he's been a Juve boy.
No, but like a fan of what they've done this season. I think Allegri is amongst the best coaches in the world in terms of how tactically flexible he is. And how he's able to accommodate all of these star attacking players into such a cohesive unit. And then he's got that, that classic Conte, back three and goalkeeper, who've played together for so long and have a huge, a tremendous understanding. And if there's any team that can stop Real Madrid, it's Juventus, because, you saw how they defended against Monaco. They were pretty comfortable defending against all of the crosses that Monaco's fullbacks were putting in. Chiellini has an almost supernatural ability to get his body in the right position and send the ball away when it looks like it's a surefire goal. Did you see that clearance this morning?
Was that the one where the ball was coming across the goal?
Yeah.
And Falcao's in behind him and he adjusted his foot.
To send it wide of the post instead of 99 out of 100 defenders would have scored an own goal there or missed or just the striker would have scored.
And look, and that's the thing. I think it would be a close game because of that.
I mean, I think Juve may. It'll be interesting to see how Allegri approaches the game. They may go back to their 4-2-3-1 that's served them so well with Mandzukic playing that kind of auxiliary left wing role. I think he can be a threat at the back post against Carvajal, but if they go ahead in the game, they can just bring on Barzali or Cuadrado as more of a defensive wing player, and just shut up shop. And they're so hard to score against. Yeah. So Juventus also no team has ever successfully defended the Champions League. Madrid would be the first team to do it. I think they can do it, but it seems to be this hoodoo that's surrounded all of the reigning champions that they haven't been able to back it up, and so history suggests that Juventus will come out on top. But
history suggests that I will come out on top in this bet.
All right, I'm going. I don't know what score I'm going is, but I'm going for Juventus win.
No, you got to put a score down.
I have to. All right. I think it will be a classic Catenaccio Juve 1-0. First team to shut out Real Madrid.
Have some faith. The goals. Well, okay. Now this is something I want to talk about. This is something I've been sitting on for the whole week.
Yeah.
Manchester United Arsenal.
Yeah, God.
Talking about exciting Champions League football, we go to the real.
It's time to take a real downturn.
I thought we'd better talk about it now, then we can lift the spirits of the podcast as we approach the second half of it, or as we approach the end of it. But look, I watched the game live. Not live, actually. I was coming back from Tasmania. I was on the boat when it was happening, got off the boat, came home, slept, and then watched it. So I stayed off social media because I didn't want to know. And I have to say, I should have kept sleeping. It was
an atrocity of a football match. I don't know if Arsenal supporters even enjoyed it. Wenger's first competitive win over Mourinho, other than the league, Charity Shield. But it was a nothing game. Mourinho just decided to put all his eggs in the Europa League basket in the Celta Vigo game. And so if United fail to win the Europa League now, I mean, it's a massive opportunity missed. Arsenal, a team with a really shaken confidence this season after they'd just been beaten in the North London derby. They're playing this 3 at the back system that doesn't seem to suit their players at all. They've scraped some wins with it, but I actually think it's made their team worse than they were in the first half of the season with
I don't know. Look, I don't know if it's made them worse, but I think that a change was needed. You haven't won, apart from the FA Cup, you haven't won the league title in God knows how long. You've played the same formation. And Arsenal have had this reputation over the years to be kind of like the Barcelona of, the short tiki-taka passes holding onto possession. that it's easy for teams to work out, which is the whole reason why like the tiki-taka sort of style was in vogue, and now it's the whole Conte dynamic 3-5-2 or whatever you want to call it. That's the in thing now. And then when teams slowly start to work out how to nullify that, and then another thing will come in, take over its place, and be the new in vogue formation everyone's going to use and use it till it's done. And I think Arsene Wenger this season has been shown like his lack of flexibility in terms of formation has been laid bare for everyone to see. And I think changing it was a gutsy move. Whether it made them worse or better, I don't think it made them terrible. But at the same time, I don't think it's made them that much better. But I think a change was needed to add a bit of dynamism. And I think, it allowed Oxlade-Chamberlain to really come to life, I think.
He's been the one player who I think has really benefited playing as a right wing back. He's looked imperious at times.
And I have to say, like, as much as I think he looks like Ratatouille, Nacho Monreal has really shown the attacking side of his play, which he had a lot of when he played in Spain, like getting up and down the pitch and off, making that extra option being that left wing back rather than just a left back. Like you were talking.
They've been playing him in the back three quite frequently though.
Yeah, I thought that against United he was up there quite a bit. He caused a lot of trouble. And look, before I really shit on Manchester United as much as I love them, the one thing that I thought was really good was Axel Tuanzebe. I thought that he shut Alexis Sanchez out. I thought he was a bright spark, really quick, really physical, good positioning, all that. And I think he was the brightest spark we had on the day, which was good. I think the United tradition of using young players is important. But
even if Mourinho only uses them when, he's deciding to throw the game.
McTominay came on for the last 10 minutes and look, he looked all right. But I thought Axel did well. He held Sanchez off. He made some good runs from right back. So that was impressive. That got me excited because, Tuanzebe, Fosu-Mensah, McTominay, these sort of players are sort of players you want to start seeing. If he's thrown the league, then why not blood them?
I think it's wrong to conceive of the Europa League versus fourth place as a binary decision, though. It's surely you want to give yourself a double chance. If there's sort of like 5 players that are going to start if Mourinho's taking the game seriously, and that's Valencia, Bailly, Herrera, Pogba, and Rashford.
Yeah.
And
so we're assuming De Gea is a given.
Oh yeah, of course. Although Romero's been playing the Europa League games, but that's not entirely unusual.
But if we make the final, it's
you've got to play the final. That's not entirely unusual for a team to play their reserve goalkeeper in cup competitions or in a particular competition. So I didn't really mind that, but he didn't. I don't know what the point was of having Pogba on the bench if he wasn't going to play him anyway. But my main gripe was less about the selection. The selection was pretty bad. Like Rooney and Carrick in midfield, it was like the slowest midfield combination in recent memory. But just the tactical instruction. Arsenal are a fragile team at the moment. You want to get up, you want to press them, you want to put them in uncomfortable situations. And the weakness of the 3-4-2-1 or whatever is out wide because Sanchez and Ozil won't necessarily track all the way back, and that's where Tottenham exposed them with their fullback play. And United's fullbacks, Tuanzebe and Darmian, were instructed to just not go beyond halfway. They were basically playing a back six with Mkhitaryan and Lingard like tucking in as like extra fullbacks, and then Tuanzebe and Darmian they didn't overlap at all, and United was so limited in attack as a result. And that's not to criticise Tuanzebe. I thought he was immense defensively and really played well against Sanchez.
You can shit on Tuanzebe. I thought attached.
I think
it's not like it's not like I'm his representation, although he needs representation. Look, I can make you a rich man. I agree with you. I think
it wasn't. It was not the players' individual decisions.
No,
the tactical instruction. Had taken issue with.
And it was so frustrating to see when we had the ball. No direction. And look, I think Rooney's past his prime.
Mm.
You know, I've had this thing with Rooney, this love-hate relationship ever since he wanted to move to Bayern for a world record fee and he wasn't allowed to go, and then he was just whining and bitching, and you know, got a massive contract, and now he's one of the best paid players at the club.
Mm.
So, but I'll give him credit where credit is due, and I think, I don't know if, like, when I was watching the game, he wanted to press. There were moments where I saw him real frustrated, being like, come on, let's like get up and press up, but everyone was sitting back because I guess that was a tactical instruction.
Mm.
So I give him credit where credit is due. I think he still has that fire, but I think he's past it. He missed a couple of good chances. That was a 1-on-1 that he missed that any other, like a Rooney from 2-3 years ago would have scored with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
So I think the heart and the emotion, the intensity is there, but I think the physical...
The mind is willing,
like
but
you
the
said
body
last
is
time,
not.
Last week you said on the podcast, you were like, he has had 4 to 5 years extra than your average professional would have.
And I'm not convinced that Rooney really takes care of himself that well. Like, he's not like one of these players who like sleeps in hyperbaric chambers and...
Yeah, wasn't he like snapped like drunk at a wedding?
Playing the piano, yeah.
Yeah, look, questionable personal decisions.
Yeah. I thought that was a bit harsh, to be honest. Like, they didn't have a game for a few days, but I don't think Rooney is the type of guy who's going to like treat his body like a temple.
Yeah. And that's the difference that sets players like Ronaldo and Messi apart, is that they are great because they're willing to make those sacrifices.
Ronaldo in particular is just like a master of that sort of self-discipline and
and people shit talk him, but the thing is, like, he does it. And I think if Rooney has let himself down in that fact that if he's made poor decisions that have led him to this condition where, you know, he's not as sharp anymore. You know, there seems to be a little bit off his pace. So when he plays with Carrick, like you said, 2 real elder statesmen, you get overrun. And that's what happened when they scored their 2 goals in the period of 5-6 minutes apart they were. It was literally with pace.
The first goal was a
the first goal, yeah.
Complete flick.
My boy Granit Xhaka, better looking Fellaini, good goal, but again, like, coming through the middle, just taking that touch out wide and just hitting it. Like, that is the kind of quick thinking that, like, I think Rooney lacks. And we just showed, like, that 1-on-1, I thought he overthought it. You know, like, the Rooney of 3 years ago would have known himself positionally where he was and make the decision. Either you're going to go around him or you're going to flick it over him, but then he just decided, I'm just going to straight kick into him. Like, and I think that's the thing that's lacking. And that really frustrated me, but not taking away the credit from Arsenal.
I'm willing to take some credit away from Arsenal, to be honest. They didn't have to work that hard for that win.
I'll say one thing. Aaron Ramsey had a really good game.
Yeah, he's immense.
I think he was the difference between the two teams. Because the two teams were flat. And I agree with you on that. They were flat. Mesut Ozil again showed why he is a luxury player rather than a player that's key in that team.
Yeah.
Alexis Sanchez marked out of the game by, a debutant. So I think they had their own weaknesses and they were flat, but Aaron Ramsey's movement, I think, was important because he created the spaces.
Yeah, all the deep runs from midfield. He's a player I really admire, and his movement, and just lung busting intensity to get into the box and create an extra option was fantastic. I do want to talk just a little bit about the second goal. It always kind of hurts a bit to see Welb score again against his...
Who sold him, Moyes or Van Gaal?
I forget. I think... Let's just blame Moyes because...
Yeah, what a...
well, everyone's piling on these days. I had my own frustrations with Welbeck as a player. He was often profligate in front of goal, but he was a hard worker, and it's always nice to see academy players in the team. But the goal actually came from throw in deep inside United's half, a United throw, and it was Mkhitaryan who took it as sort of the second left back as he was playing on the day, and they had Darmian and Jones and Smalling. Just not creating any kind of option, just standing in just a useless position. And then Rooney was the only person who made a run to try and create an option off the throw. And then he got swarmed and turned over the ball. And then a few passes later, Oxlade-Chamberlain's putting in the cross for Welbeck to score. Yeah. So I think, it was a good cross and it was a good header, but certain failures of coaching. And it just, ways in which a distinct lack of ambition can backfire. And speaking of games, and tactical plans lacking in ambition, I do want to briefly touch on the A-League Grand Final.
We're going local.
We are going local. I know, the Eurosnob sitting across the table from me doesn't really give one flying fuck about Australian domestic football.
Look, you're alright.
It's fair.
There was a guy I worked with, Tristan. I'll link him this podcast. He would, every time I worked with him, he works at some bank now. But when I worked with him at Coles, he would call me a Eurosnob all the time. He would be like, you should sign up for a Victory membership, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you guys, man. I'm good. Anyway, go on. Joy Apparel. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I mean, it was a game that it was not a good advertisement for the A-League, that game. It was just the most attritional, violent, kind of just long ball fest that I've ever had the misfortune to witness. Similar to you in the United game, I was at work during the game and had to record it and avoid spoilers. Given that I was reffing futsal, it was good news for me that I was able to avoid spoilers, but probably bad news for the A-League that no one really gave a crap amongst. No one really gave a crap at the futsal venue that we're talking about. They're all in there.
I watched the penalty shootout on a live stream on the Spirit of Tasmania.
That's commitment, is it?
Look, I didn't watch the 120 minutes before that.
Don't bother. Don't worry. It was just a whole lot of yellow cards.
Okay. Okay. Joy Apparel.
Masculine aggression. But, perhaps in this case it was more justified, Muscat going in with a game plan of trying to stop Sydney playing, because they, Victory went in as underdogs, because they finished 17 points behind Sydney in the regular season. And Sydney have, quite a brilliant midfield and forward line. But I don't think Victory did themselves justice with, just kind of abandoning any kind of ideas of playing through midfield. Brush's goal on the breakaway was quality, but after that they just didn't have any ambition. And it was only a matter of time before Sydney equalised. And maybe on another day you get lucky and Troisi's volley goes in off the post and you grab a pretty undeserved victory. But I think, as much as it pains me to say it as a Victory fan, justice was probably done in the penalty shootout, with the Johnny Warren medalist Milos Nikovic tucking it away. He's been brilliant all season, and Sydney sealing a almost but not quite undefeated season with the title that they in all honesty deserved. So I think, a lot of Victory fans I saw on social media and so forth were praising the team's effort for taking Sydney all the way to penalties, but I don't really think the way in which they achieved it was really befitting of the strengths of the team and the style in which they've played in all the other games this season. So I'm not too happy about the choices made in that game, even though I can understand them. Anyway, Ryan has nothing to contribute on this.
If you're like me, fellow Eurosnobs were zoned out.
Yeah, like
who is Ninkovic? I don't fucking know. Anyway, yeah, but no.
It was really funny when he put away the winning penalty but he ran into the. It wasn't very funny for me at the time, but when he ran into the crowd, there's a brilliant shot of some guy in the crowd, because he hadn't re-signed yet his contract. A guy holding out $200, like, take it, stay.
Yeah, because that's what they get paid in the early game.
Yeah, that's about right. That's like a
marquee contract. Which he should be, shouldn't he?
He's their marquee player now. He just re-signed.
See, I have some knowledge. I know.
You guessed.
No, I read that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Actually did.
I'm sure.
Fuck you, man.
Did you read it on the Spirit of Tasmania on an illegal stream?
I read it on Facebook. It was one of those links that I clicked.
If it's on Facebook, it must be true.
Look,
it is
fake
true.
news. Okay, so what? So yeah,
I think this podcast has been hacked by the Russians.
No. Look, you've had your A-League chat.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on. We're talking about the title run in now in the English Premier League.
The title run-in that's now been run.
That has now
virtually. I mean, it's not mathematically. I don't even know the correct grammatical construction of what I was trying to say, but Chelsea, it's beyond reasonable doubt now.
And we just take a pause now for the giveaway, the fun giveaway. If you're listening, this far, and if you message us that you heard this on the podcast, you get a lock of Josh's golden hair.
I do not consent to this.
Doesn't matter. We don't need consent.
It's all right. They all turned off during the A-League chat, so I think I'm safe.
If you're an A-League fanatic and not a Eurosnob and you've stuck around this far, just drop us a message on any of our social links, Facebook, SoundCloud, on our email, or whatever. You can find all that in the description below. You get a lock of Josh's golden hair. Like, that Rapunzel shit is real. So, yes.
I'm worried someone's going to create like a voodoo doll of me, or like...
I can't wait. Get in touch. Anyway, yeah. Talk about the title run-in with that in mind.
I'm finding it hard to focus. I just don't know how to respond. This is... I've not been consulted.
This is the fun of it, working together. It's just pull punches like that. You know, you pull the A-League thing out of the hat and I pull your hair, so...
All right. So Chelsea seem to have wrapped up the title.
Yeah.
They've been the most consistent team all season. Spurs, as I said last week, I think they reached a higher peak with the football they played, but there were attempts by some people to frame this as another Spursy collapse, like last season where they missed the opportunity to really close the gap on Leicester. But I mean, they have the 9th highest wage bill in the league. Like, I don't think they really should be expected to win the title, and I think they did. They won 9 games in a row, 9 Premier League games in a row to actually.
Is there a correlation between the wage bill and success?
Yeah, there really is actually.
Is there actually?
Yeah. I was reading
nerdy stats.
Yeah, okay.
Nerdy stats.
Josh's soccer nerd corner coming back after all the freaking expected goals chat. Actually, I was reading this book called Soccernomics, and apparently
there's nothing nerdier than that.
Hey, it gets nerdier. Right?
Okay, all right.
I read it on Kindle.
Because you're too highbrow for paper.
Yeah, look, it's save the trees, man. And apparently transfer spend is not a reliable predictor of league success, but wage spend is. I mean, that is not to say that if you just suddenly start paying all your shit players more money, you're going to get better.
Or is that positive reinforcement?
Yeah, they just need to feel like they're wanted, if the A-League got rid of the salary cap, and just retained all the same players, they'd suddenly...
Is that why the girl's holding out $200?
Yeah. Please. You're so shit. Take this money. So I've totally lost my
So you were reading Soccernomics.
Yeah, and
on
wage
Kindle.
Yeah, and wage spend is a much more reliable predictor of transfer... Oh, fucking hell, of league success than transfer spend. Yeah. And it's actually, one of any kind of single one of those kinds of factors, it's the most reliable, closest correlation. So, I think that's a fair yardstick to judge teams like Spurs with. And, even though the loss to West Ham was not ideal, it's not the result they wanted, it's not the kind of fixture in which you expected them to slip up, given their record in the second half of the year. They won 9 games on the trot. And they made it a title race when it really wasn't a title race. And I think they should be credited for that rather than disparaged. And they've improved year on year in terms of their points tally, in terms of the football they've been playing. So on to bigger and better things next year, hopefully. Although they are playing... They are playing at Wembley a lot, so that might mean they lose every game. They've only won 1 in 9 at Wembley, I think.
Then maybe their players will leave to United.
And,
imagine the handshakes between Belly and Pogba and stuff like that.
I said on to bigger and better things. What do you think I meant?
Come on, Josh.
Yeah,
United is not a bigger or better thing right now.
Not right now, but... So Chelsea have wrapped up the title, but Hull City seem to
you were okay. If you haven't heard this, go back to last week's podcast if you didn't listen to it. Listen to Josh just rave about Hull City as the new Invincibles.
Marco Silva is my Lord and Savior. Actually, sorry, that's Gabriel Jesus, I should say.
You can't recycle.
Hey, we just did. But this is the callback. So after I went on and on about Hull City's crazy home record under Marco Silva and his own unbeaten run, including his previous jobs, they've gone and lost 2-0 to already relegated Sunderland. I mean, in fairness, they dominated the game, conceded a crappy goal, and then the second goal was offside. So
no excuses to restore my trust in you, Josh. When you go around saying a team is the new Invincibles,
hey,
I trust you.
If all of these advanced stats have taught me anything, it's that one game is not a.
Maybe if they just paid their players a lot more, they would have won.
So just a quick message to Hull City's Chinese owners: just stick your hands a little deeper into those pockets, would you? Because
we know you got it, right? I've been to China. I've seen that shit. I know you have it. Wasn't Hull owned by some crazy Arab owner before then?
He was the one who wanted to change it to Hull Tigers.
Hull Tigers. Did they have correct me if I'm wrong. Did they erect a statue of Michael Jackson?
That was Fulham. That was Zai, what's his name? But he's the one who owned Harrods or something.
Say his name.
I can't say his name. I can't remember what it is. It's like Zayed or something.
Oh no. Yeah,
you can't correct me because you don't know. But he put up a statue of Michael Jackson outside Craven Cottage.
That's not racist, is it? They confused two Arab owners.
It's all right.
Well, look, the subject's Michael Jackson. He was black and white. So
it doesn't.
We're good. We're fine.
It don't matter if you're black or white.
That's right.
I don't know any other lyrics. So there's been so many wacky owners in the Premier League that it's very easy to mix them up. But yeah, it looks like Hull City, from being according to me, nailed on safe, are suddenly relegation favourites. So and Swansea City are in the driving seat. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if time actually bears out my prediction and not just this 1 week. But
How many games left in the season?
3.
3 games.
It's not enough for sample size, aren't I?
Okay, how about we end on this? Who gets relegated? We already got Sunderland confirmed.
Middlesbrough confirmed as well after they lost to Chelsea.
As well.
So it's out of Hull, Swansea, and Crystal Palace, and I believe Hull are playing Crystal Palace in. Ooh, maybe they already played. Let's just quick check. No, they haven't yet. So I'll just quickly look up the fixtures. So I think because that's we need that. We need that to make a reliable prediction.
You can find us on Facebook at the Squad Goal Podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud, the Squad Goals Podcast, YouTube, the Squad Goals Podcast, Instagram coming soon when Josh gets his act together. Look out for some fresh content. We've developed a whole I wouldn't call it a strategy. It's more just we spitballed some ideas to keep things fresh on our different social media outlets. So it's not just the podcast. Let us know what you think. Get in touch with us in the email at thesquadgoalspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Any questions, anything you want us to talk about. Any bit of Josh's body you'd like to win in giveaways. I'm open to suggestions too.
I am still listening. You didn't realize?
Yeah, I know that, and I know the thought of losing a few of your golden locks really, really irks you. But that's the price we pay. You're in the public eye now, Josh. People want bits of you. All right, let's end this.
All right, so there's actually 2 games left because I'm an idiot. Swansea are 1 point ahead with a superior goal difference, 5 superior goal difference. Mm-hmm. Now,
Llorente?
Yes, Llorente. Sigurdsson to Llorente, fun fact, most productive assist to goal partnership in the Premier League.
You're all about them stats.
Yeah, 5 goals this season, Sigurdsson to Llorente. That's more than any other combination. Anyway, moving swiftly along. So Hull has Crystal Palace away, which is a huge game for both teams because Crystal Palace is only 4 points clear of the relegation zone on 38.
Yeah.
I think they're probably safe, but not mathematically, and they haven't reached that magical 40-point mark. And then Hull have got Spurs at home, which is going to be a tough one. Although we saw what happened to Spurs last season after they dropped out of the title race. They got annihilated at Newcastle. So you never know. All
right, so your predictions. Let's just say for these games.
And then Swansea have Sunderland away, which, I mean, it showed they're no pushovers, apparently, in the last game. And then West Brom at home. So
who's going down, Josh? Your pick. Just one pick.
Look, I'm going to stick with my boys Hull and say Swansea are going to choke it hard.
That was a very graphic image. I'm going to say, look, I was going to say Swansea, but I'm going to go surprise Crystal Palace goes down.
It's Crystal Palace. Oh, that's mathematically unlikely, but
I'm all about against the odds.
That's never stopped you before. I mean, in our legendary episode 0, the lost episode, Ryan predicted that Monaco would make the Champions League final. So
look,
there you go.
I'm all about the underdogs.
Yeah, that was a podcast with some technical issues that may never see the light of day, but safe to say I was right in all my predictions, and my takes are real fresh, and I smashed Ryan on Pez.
All right, thank you so much for listening. You know where all the links are. You know all that jazz. And again, if you want Josh's golden locks, hit us up, and we'll hook you up.
How did I get myself into this?